I set myself the challenge to watch every single episode of Doctor Who ever made, from 1963 right up until the modern era. So far we are this far through the 5th Doctor's era, and this far through the show overall. And today we're not in a season at all. Somewhere between season 20 and 21 we have the 20th anniversary special of Doctor Who, The 5 Doctors. This is not really a serial, it aired as a single episode, and it aired outside the season 20 and season 21 blocks, so it gets its own video. The story begins with the 5th Doctor, Tegan and Turlough relaxing at or possibly on the Eye of Orion, which, thanks to a high bombardment of positive ions, is the most tranquil place in the universe. It's the sort of place you'd want to go to recover from regeneration trauma, unless you have some sort of kink about making your companions carry you up a hill in a coffin. But the relaxing is cut short when 5 starts to feel a tug, like parts of his past are being pulled away. Yes, the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and someone a lot like the 1st Doctor are all being ripped out of time by some unseen force who is collecting them as little figurines, like some sort of creep. Who would want to have a collection of figurines of the Doctor? Most of the Doctors get plucked from somewhat arbitrary points in their timelines, but the 4th Doctor is taken straight from the beginning of Shada and gets stuck halfway, interrupting that story entirely. Hopefully that won't lead to any confusing continuity issues later on. It's not just the Doctor that's kidnapped though. The Brigadier is taken along with the 2nd Doctor, and Sarah Jane is abducted by herself for some reason. What's more, Susan is back, and she has 2 shoes, big boots, and she found a raincoat in that post-apocalyptic world. Susan and the almost 1st Doctor find themselves being chased by a Dalek down a corridor of mirrors and stock thunder sound effects, before realizing that they're on Gallifrey, in the Death Zone, and deciding that the best bet is to head to the tower at the center of the zone. 5 refuses to be kidnapped, so takes himself to the Death Zone directly. There, the TARDIS is found by the 1st Doctor and Susan, and they enter to meet up with 5, Tegan and Turlough. They all decide that heading to the tower is the right course, but before they leave, the 1st Doctor eats some pineapple in close-up. The Time Lords have noticed the Doctor vanishing from his own timeline, and have recruited the Master to go into the Death Zone to rescue him. If he succeeds, the Master will be granted an entirely new regeneration cycle, which is something the Time Lords can do apparently. Once inside the Death Zone, the Master is shot at by lasers, but doesn't let it bother him.
Not the most hospitable of environments.
The laser blast came from the Cybermen, who the Master quickly forms an alliance with. The Master believes he can use the Cybermen's military might to overthrow the Time Lords, and then depose them, leaving himself as ruler of all. The Cybermen in turn plot to kill the Master, but they do so less than half a meter away from him, so there's zero chance that he didn't hear. Meanwhile, the 3rd Doctor is traversing the Death Zone in Brum when he comes across Sarah Jane, who is trapped at the bottom of a small slope. Luckily, he has a rope in the car, so he can use it to pull Sarah up the tiny incline to safety. Together they face off against the Raston Warrior robot, the most perfect killing machine ever devised. It fires a javelin at Sarah and misses from 10 meters away. While the robot is distracted killing Cybermen, 3 and Sarah make their way up a small incline. Sarah throws a rock at the Cybermen but misses from 10 meters away, making her the most perfect killing machine ever devised. Luckily, the Cybermen can't make it up a gentle incline because they don't have any rope or a yellow car. Meanwhile, the 5th Doctor has made it to the Gallifreyan High Council and has discovered who is kidnapping his past lives. It was the Castellan. The Castellan is arrested and sent to be mind probed to find out why he did it. Unfortunately, the Castellan is horrified by this.
You are authorized to use the mind probe.
What? No, not the mind probe.
And is killed trying to escape. Inside the Death Zone tower, the various Doctors have to face phantoms from their past. The 3rd Doctor faces Yates and Liz Shaw, the 2nd Doctor faces Jamie and Zoe, and the 1st Doctor faces Checkered Floors, which you'll recall were an enemy from the third Doctor story, Death to the Daleks.
Stop, don't move.
Meanwhile, the Fifth Doctor has discovered a secret room in President Barusa's chambers full of weird little Doctor Who figures. Barusa. How could you? How much did you spend on these? You can't just fill your office with Doctor Who figures and spaceships and old Megazords. You're a grown man. Start acting like it. Maybe do some washing up or get a real job. YouTube won't pay the bills, Barusa. Sorry. Anyway, it turns out that Barusa has been kidnapping the Doctors so that they'll get him access to the Death Zone Tower where he believes Rassilon's tomb is. He brought them all there with their companions so that they can help them, and he added the Daleks, Cyberman and Rastan Warrior robot just for funsies. Barusa believes that Rassilon's tomb holds the key to immortality. After all, regenerations are limited. You can't just grant another cycle when yours runs out. Entering the tomb together, the first, second, third and fifth Doctors are able to defeat Barusa by giving him exactly what he wants, granting him immortality as a stone face on the side of Rassilon's tomb. The threat removed, the various Doctors return to their own points in time, leaving only the Fifth Doctor, Tegan and Turlough behind. At this point the Time Lords show up, and realizing that Barusa is no longer fit to hold the presidency, they offer it again to the Doctor, who they had previously exiled from their society, made president, executed, and now are making president again. I don't blame the Fifth Doctor for running away at this point. Honestly, it's the safest option. That's it for the 5 Doctors. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'll see you for Season 21.